How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Whew, man, what a day at work. Some days are long and some days are long. But that's not what this video is about. Let's get to what it's about. Again, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So glad each and every one of you can make it. Today's video is about a topic that has been beat to death, but it needs going over again because everybody has a different outlook and opinion, and I've had several people ask me, and what it's about is scalping. Yeah, that wonderful topic, scalping. So if you don't want to hear about it, I understand. Just go ahead and click off of it now. But if you do want to hear some different points of view, let's go ahead and dive in. For those of you that do not know what scalping is, it is purchasing an item just strictly for resale, but not just for resale, for a considerable markup. Now I remember hearing about it as a kid because of football games, baseball games, stuff like that. You know, people would stand in line, have family members stand in line. They'd buy all the tickets for games right when they went on sale, and people would come to town from out of town, you know, to want to go to that game, and they would go to the stadium. Of course, they're sold out by now because it's a playoff game or whatever. But you've always got those couple guys standing out front, tickets, holding up a sign with tickets. And they would charge an astronomical fee. Say the tickets are normally $20, they could charge $500-$600, right? Now, that's just a hypothetical number. That's not exact, I know. And each state, each city has different laws on scalping, stuff like that. They have different thresholds. Some will say you can only mark it up 10%. Some will say up to 30%, and so on and so forth. In our world, the diecast world, that's a scalper would be somebody, okay, fresh drop, right? We all wait on a fresh drop. We try to get in there. A scalper in the diecast world will want to take the hot cars, like the super treasure hunts, which is what's up here on that bottom row, super treasure hunt, and that's what's coming down the side of this rack, up and down both sides, and sell those for a considerable markup. Because let's face it, like I think it's the Q case Silverado. I was wanting to try to find that bad boy, even some of the main lines. I was wanting some of the main lines, but my store went from K case to N case back to D case, mixed in with a little C case, and then straight to B case for 2025. It's crazy. My stores are just absolutely crazy. That's a whole different story, a whole different video. We'll touch on that another day. But that particular truck, $1.25 at Walmart, most Walmarts, and you know, most stores you can get it for under $1.50, okay? But the people that really want that truck are paying $200, and some people are even paying more. Just like the M2 chase set for the Silverados, the black ones with the gold Trans Am logo on it. Yeah, those are going for well over $200 now. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And people ask me what my thoughts on this are and what can be done. We'll get on to what can be done here in just a minute. There are a few things that can be done by us, the market, the collector, and so on and so forth, but It's really going to take the manufacturers doing it, and they're not going to do it. So here goes, okay? Like I said, a person will go in and buy a particular chase, right? Strictly for resale, not to collect, strictly for resale. For as much as they can get. Now, I've heard the argument that the market dictates what the prices are once you put it on the secondhand market, like the eBays and stuff like that. That's true and it's not true, okay? It's true that you can take a super treasure hunt like the said Silverado or a chase and put it on eBay and just let it ride, auction style, right? And you've got people that have more money than they have common sense. Pay $200 for a dollar car? Come on, really? Just because it's more rare or because not everybody can have it, or you can be like, ha ha, I've got this and you don't, ha ha. Those people are out there and the scalpers take advantage of them. Now a reseller would get said vehicle, you know, and put it on there for a buy it now price. A reasonable buy it now price. Not the $200, but a reasonable one. What's reasonable to you is different to somebody else. You know, me, 45, 50 bucks. Max. I mean, max. Not no $200. You know, that's just ridiculous. And the problem comes when you have said scalpers, employees that work at the stores that give the scalpers premium access to look through the cases before they hit the floor. In many cases, hey, you know, they call them up or they send them a text and say, it's here, it's here, it's here. We've got this many, we've got this, you know. And then they go to the stores and they go in the back room and look through the cases and everything. Or the employees will bring them out in a buggy for them. But it's gotten so bad now to where even store employees are doing it. They'll open the cases up and go through them before they ever hit the floor. I've got a whole different opinion on that. And I'll just keep that to myself, you know. Scalping is scalping no matter how you look at it. If you get something just strictly for resale at a high value like that, that is scalping. Now, like I said, there is resellers. Resellers will mark it up a certain amount and then go with it. But when you have to pay for access or you have to do it behind closed doors, if you have to hide, number one, like pallet raiders, you know, you got the guys that will see the pallet in the stores, make sure nobody's looking, find the spot to where they can look through it, grab it, take it off the pallet, take it around the corner, go through it, leave a mess for the employees to clean up and everything. That's wrong. If you've got to hide to do it, you're telling yourself that's not right. Okay? I mean, you're just telling yourself. Now, it's been said that us as collectors, you know, all these in here, we're scalpers just by buying them because eventually we'll want to resell them. Well, I don't agree with that. The reason I say I don't agree with it is because when it comes time for me to let all this stuff go, because my family's not going to hold on to it, they're not into any of this. So whenever I know that my time's coming, if I'm allowed that, you know, sometimes you know ahead of time, then I will put all this on and sell it. Now, when I do, I paid, what, $5 for this car, say, $6? It could be worth $30. It could be worth 99 cents when I put it on there. The market will set the value at that time. But I did not buy that particular car just for resale. I bought that car because I like it and it makes me happy. So, or that's what I'm into, right? Just like this. Now the value's down because I opened it, but I wanted it open. When it's time for me to go, that could be a $20 truck. It could be a 99 cent truck. So to that point, I disagree. You are not a scalper just because you buy die casting. And someday you might end up reselling it. Because what is hot today is not going to be hot tomorrow. Or what is not hot today could be super hot tomorrow. You just never know. That is the market setting the price. But once you cross that line and go in with the strict intention on buying it just for resale, you are a scalper. Unless you know you're going to have a set limit, and then you're a reseller. A reseller like this right here, this was $6 at Walmart. A reseller might go in and ask $14.99 or $19.99. They're not going to sit there and put a $400 price tag on it or $200 price tag. It's just not going to happen. And it's been said, I heard somebody say that, doing houses is the same way. No, I'm going to disagree with that. You've seen the shows, I'm sure, on TV where people will buy a house and flip it, okay? Well, typically what they'll do is they'll go in and buy a house that's dilapidated or the bank repossessed it, so they bought it at a discounted price, put some money in it, and because they put some money into it, the house is now worth more. That house you could put $1 million in it, but depending on where you put that house or where that house is located, it might sit there forever and never sell, strictly because of location. You've heard the phrase, location, location, location. But those people aren't going to sit there and buy a house for $30,000 or $40,000, put $100,000 in it, and expect to get $600,000 out of it. They know that the market in that area is going to bear $200,000 to $300,000, and that's fine and dandy. I'm gonna try to quit moving my hands so much. That's fine and dandy. That's the market setting that value, because that person's having to pay. If they didn't pay cash for the house, they're having to sit there and pay a mortgage until that house sells. So that house could sit there for a year or two and never sell. So now they're still paying more money and more money and more money. And I bought this house, right? I didn't buy it with the intention of it being worth $1 million someday, or buying it cheap and knowing that I'm gonna be able to flip it and sell it for 4 times as much. No, I'm not a scalper because I bought this house. No, that's utter craziness. The market will tell me what I could get for it based on the inflation rate and the location that I'm in, current values of surrounding houses, so on and so forth. So it's not the same. I understand it. That would, in diecast realm, that would be considered a reseller, not a scalper. So next thing I want to touch on is nobody's really mentioned it. And like I said, scalpers go after the cars that everybody's wanting because they're rare and, I've got to have it because you don't, stuff like that. But here's an issue that I've been noticing. Well, first let me talk about this. I was in the comment section on a live stream one day with a couple guys that do podcasts, live streams and stuff like that, diecast related. And they had a manufacturer on there, so I asked them what they thought about scalpers. And they were like, when I heard the well, I knew something was up. He's like, there's really nothing you can do about it. And doesn't matter what it is, people will scalp it. But his conclusion was they are going to do chases, right? Let's face it, that's typically what scalpers are after, is the chases, whether it be an M2 chase with the different wheels or no paint to the Hot Wheels super treasure hunts, so on and so forth. The Ultra Reds, the Raws, He made the comment of, they're going to make them. That gets you in the store, knowing that they make chases, okay? And even if you don't find that chase, that you will typically buy diecast regardless because you're already there, even if it's somebody else's. That was his comment. Now, I didn't quote it because that's probably not the exact words, but that is what he said. And then he said again, there's really nothing you can do about it. So I commented again, well, just quit making chases. And he didn't comment to that. But that's one thing they can do as a company is quit making chases. If there's no chase, nobody's going to be paying or trying to get that special access to the back room, or even go in the back room illegally and try to go through it, okay? Because there is nothing to go in there for. Now, the problem is people, like he said, they're always going to scalp something. In other words, he was referring to just the main lines, okay? Like, just a regular one like this. This is nothing special. It's just a new from Series 1, okay? And I understand his point. And I'm going to switch over to Hot Wheels specifically, okay? These companies, excuse me, some of the companies, what they will do is that you don't know what's what. There's no way for you to tell. They're individual, like Kiter House. They're individually packaged. You're not going to know what's in there. You have to buy it. You have to take it home. You have to open it up. Or you have to order it online in most cases. So you get lucky that way. Whereas other manufacturers like Hot Wheels, like I'm going to switch over to Hot Wheels specifically for this. They're like these companies are like drug dealers. They'll sit there and they'll come into the area and they'll give you something real cheap or give it to you free, knowing that you're going to like it and you're going to come back for it. So they started off with the treasure hunts. Okay? The treasure hunts, of course, had scalpers, people in the back room access and everything, but it was nothing like today. Okay? Nothing like it. Then they came out with the super treasure hunts. They were limited in quantity. I think it was like 10,000 when they first started doing them. Worldwide, 10,000 super treasure hunts. I think it was like 1 in 13 cases or some crap like that you had the chance of finding one. And that got the ball rolling. It got the people really wanting these cars. And then had two things happen. One was COVID hit. And then you had these influencers, which we didn't have back in the days of the regular treasure hunts, saying, oh, I paid cash for my Tesla selling Hot Wheels. This is how I did it. Or you got other influencers on YouTube and everything showing you how to track shipping, how to call stores and ask about certain things, and stuff like that. And it's just, it's gotten out of hand. But here's what Mattel has done, okay? They increased the amount of supers. I think it's now something like 30,000 that they put out. Which is better, but it's still not addressing the problem, because what they've done, they've actually turned around and made main lines chase pieces. Case in point, let me show you this. I went to the store yesterday, the wife and I, and got to looking, and I've been noticing this for a while, but I've never really thought about it. I found a 2025 C-Case Camaro, right? First one I've seen. Well, it's actually the first C-Case that I've seen. Found that. There's only one per case. One per case. Now that seems, and I don't even know if they're in every case, but I know that the case that I saw had one in it. One. Otherwise I'd have bought two. But with that stated, there were several castings in there and there's only one, right? Had that one. And I was lucky enough to find this one. Red Bull car. As well as a couple others. I got the Porsche GT3 and the Hot Wheels funny car and a couple other things. But point being, one per case, right? Let's just say there's 10 cars in there at one per case. The rest of them are fantasy cars. They're multiples. They're duplicates. They are doing that for a specific reason, because when one person goes in there, there's a case up. Well, that person's done, like me. I'm gonna say me. Use me for an example. I done went in there and got 2 of the sought after cars, right? Now, if that was the only 2 cars in that case that was sought after, well, now the pegs are full of fantasy cars. So they made those particular cars chases, in effect, because of limiting the quantity. And that brings me to what can be done. What can be done is they can quit making chases altogether. Okay? Because that takes out the, oh, I've got it and you don't mentality. And then they can up the quantity on the cars that people, they know will work, won't, because they do their market research. You know, they have their research groups and their test groups, their study groups and all that stuff. So they know what people's going to want. They know from following the chats and everything and social media what people want and going to want. So up to production and either do away with these or up to production of these too. It's not that complicated, but they don't want to do that because they know it keeps you coming back for more, right? Keeps you coming back for more. So us as the market, we need to figure out what's important to us. I mean, if you just got to have this particular car, then by all means go on eBay and pay those ridiculous prices. For the rest of us, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give in. I'm a Camaro guy. And if this joker would ever get above $2 or $3, I wouldn't get it. Wouldn't get it. It's just that simple. Because to get it off eBay, I know it'd take $2 to $3 right now. I don't know what they are. I haven't looked. But $2 to $3, plus you got to pay anywhere from $5 to $7 to ship, plus taxes. So now that's a $10 car. This car is not worth $10 to me. To me. That's just me. Everybody's got their own standards. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I just wanted to cover that. The mentality of these manufacturers to think that by making chases, that's going to get the people in there and they're going to buy stuff. Not a scalper. A scalper's going to go in there and look for particular cars, and if he doesn't find them, he's out the door. The collector will go in looking for the chase, and if they like chases, a lot of collectors don't even like chases, but they'll go in and look for them, and if while they're looking, they see other cars they like, and they will take those cars because they are collectors. It works with collectors, manufacturers. It does not, I repeat, does not work with scalpers. So just drop that mentality, because either you're lying to yourself or you're lying to us. One or the other. So just drop it. Yeah, I'm not buying. It's like old milk. I'm not buying it. I checked the date. So with that being stated, I'm going to get off here. I've kept you guys long enough, 23 minutes right now. I appreciate you listening to me. I've made a video. I made this video 2 or 3 times, and I'll delete it just because, you know, it's a broken record per se. Everybody says there's nothing you can do, but you actually can. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. And the manufacturers can do something about it, but they don't want to. They don't. They actually think it's funny. Like when the Legends Tour came to town, they were sitting there joking. You know, you've seen all the videos from the Legends Tour, people taking them. They're waiting at the boxes, the bins, the dump bins. They're waiting. They're waiting. So the workers will come in and dump the cars in there, and they're just like a madhouse. And the manufacturers, or representatives from the manufacturers, sitting outside laughing, talking about, yeah, we almost had a fight in there, yeah, you know. That's going to be on you. One day somebody's going to get seriously hurt or worse, and it's going to be on you. So with that stated, I'm going to get off here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, I will see you. Get out there and hunt. If you don't hunt, you're not going to find. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.